finish my sentence. You know, I asked all these people, what do you produce? Okay, do we really need you? You know that's not true. People have needs, okay? We need food, we need potable water, we need housing, and we need a degree of our energy needs to be met. Okay, all through history, people have started fires when they got to have something. Okay, we got to have something. We got to have use of some energy. Okay, and there's 1,000,001 ways we could do that in a clean fashion. Okay, our cars, you know, this idea of getting off gasoline, listen, we could easily do that. Okay, simply miniaturize a hydrogen production plant. Okay, you look at the configuration currently of a hydrogen production plant. We all know that for a long time, this is like from the 18th century technology, how to produce hydrogen artificially and contain it. You understand? So you miniaturize it, and then it becomes like a unit that you can convert a gasoline engine into hydrogen, okay, that only creates hydrogen on demand. Maybe it has a tiny storage unit, okay, so that it regulates, sort of a fuel pressure regulator, if you will. So you can already imagine the fundamentals. It's already been done. Stan Meyer, who was assassinated, by the way, okay, because this is not music to the ears of the oil companies. You understand that. The last thing in the world they want is some innovator to come out with some way to just convert a gasoline engine, an internal combustion engine right now, into a hydrogen on demand vehicle. The last thing they would want. I mean, they put them all out of business if you could do that. But it might be a simple conversion. Hydrogen is a fuel. I mean, just like you convert a vehicle to natural gas or propane. A lot of people are going to turn their diesels into running on vegetable oil. You know, use vegetable oil from restaurants. But, you know, you can do 1,000,001 things. But you know what? What productive thing do these people do? What is the essential that they do? They're the hindrances. They only create problems. They're leeches. So the vast majority of people in these jobs that affect our lives so profoundly, and the policies in our society, and that means our local communities. Okay, you understand, we're divided because of the policies that are handed down from on high. It's all, we know, you know, in the scheme of hierarchy, it's, well, the city's got some power, but the county, you know, is more of a concern. And then you got the state. Oh, what the state says. Beyond that, what the national level, federal government, right? And it's like, oh my God, everything's so freaking out of control at this point in history. With the economics, it's like absolute mayhem. It's just, it's so far gone. Okay, at this point, we got to see it, man. How bad does it have to get in America? How much do they need to debase your money? Do you know it's hurting the people at the very bottom rungs of the economic ladder the most? Is that fair? These are people that are often doing minimum wage jobs or close thereabouts, that are doing essential jobs to the welfare of society. And you are going to just be silent. You're going to put on your blinders. You're going to prescribe to an ignorance is bliss philosophy at that realization and say, well, because they have little or no skills, or they're have little or no education, that's how we justify it and rationalize in our minds, and that's our belief system. So whatever you say, okay, everything's working good. The economy's working on my side of the ledger right now. Don't interrupt it. Don't muzzle the ox while it's threshing, huh? God almighty, we're in so much trouble, my friends. We're in so much trouble because these people think they're smarter or more deserving of having the money. But you understand, it's nothing. They're not smarter than the poor. People's values, I'm repulsed by, I recoil from all the money-loving stuff, man. I hate it. I hate what it's doing, man. It's destroying people's lives, their families and marriages, and people are murdering each other for this stuff. It's so freaking evil. The hearts and minds of men are so corrupted, and the people that love the money, and we exalt them in the news, and Oh my God, there's somebody. These billions of dollars. Is God impressed? When God's impressed, let me know. But you understand, it's a pagan world, a secular world. So if you don't not believe in God, then you're a dumbass. You're unscientific. You must be uneducated, unlearned. I get it. Oh, I get it. I know what's in the hearts and minds of men because I am a man. It's not hard to figure out, and so does God. He knows your values. You got to know your values. You got to start wondering where you're going from here, because this might be your last hour on earth. None of us know, and that's science. That's a matter of fact. That's not being negative at all. That's just stating the obvious. So we should think about where we're going to be found worthy and deserving of going to. Are we clear in our own minds the kind of souls we want to be around? Maybe that's how we got here, which is kind of a hell to a lot of people. I mean, the Grateful Dead and Live and Let Die. I mean, who doesn't get it, huh? Who hasn't gotten that? It sucks, man. Why? Why are we contending? Why are we putting up with this crap? See, our tolerance to it is complicity in it. You understand? That's where that line from that song by the Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil, who shot the Kennedys? Well, after all, it was you and I. I mean, this is it. Because we all have to confess our own part in this thing, not doing enough. Okay, it doesn't matter whose injustice it is. You got to hate it just like it's your injustice. And if you don't, you're not pleasing God. You're not seeing through his eyes. I'm telling you, friends, until we live like one family, that your welfare is quite literally the welfare of another. I mean, we're not going to be close to pleasing God, and we're not going to be finding happiness. And we're all stuck here together. I'm going to suffer because you choose to be delusional and ignorant. Okay? I'm going to suffer pain from that, and then I'm going to suffer it again because I see the destruction, what it's doing. It's taking lives. It's deadly. It's lethal. Not caring is lethal. Silence equals death. Not speaking out in behalf of others. And if we don't care about others, what makes us think that we're going to be able to stand before God, defend our belief system, our BS, and say, God, but I did all this with this amount of money. But remember this stories from Scripture. The little widow that put in 2 cents into the kitty, the coffers at the church, whatever, the plate. She put in the sight of God, she put in more. All these rich were giving out of their wealth. It was nothing to them. It was nothing. But the widow couldn't give nothing. She had barely anything. You understand? So the way God sees stuff and the way we see stuff can be profoundly, dramatically different. And we've got to wrap our minds around that and say, God, help me. I want to see. And you ask for good things like that, you're going to get it, man. And when you do, you're astounded. Oh my God, this world is so freaking fallen. It's so fouled up, so screwed up. People are so demon possessed and they don't even see it. It's like that movie, They Live, where you put on the glasses and go, oh crap, they don't get it. And what's my job is not to condemn them, not to judge them, but to try to save them. Even though they don't want to be saved, okay, in the state of mind they're in, they're not in their right mind, but you still have an obligation to try to reach them. With the Spirit of God, you got to come out like a brother that says, man, you're about to fall into a pit, and I'm no yes man. And I'm not condemning you. I'm just pointing something out, so don't say I'm judging you. I'm just trying to help you here. But we've got to address these things. We've got to confront these things. They do not fix themselves. We got to understand that. Okay, it's like justice. It's not being handed out. Look historically, since the beginning of time, as far back as historical records go. No, you're always going to get oppressors. Always come in and just want to steal. They want to enslave. These are the slaver class. These elitists, the holier than thou, think they're better than you. They live by a double standard. They think they got special rights from God knows where. They're delusional freaking minds. They don't know what they got coming on the other side of the veil, but there's going to be a separation that's going to come down at some point. God has to say, you know what, all you evildoers that don't want to be in a world without any form of money, you're going here. And all you that long for that world, you get to go here. Okay? It's our choice. We have this little window of opportunity. Okay, while the day is light, we've got to choose now our values. Are they going to be in line? Are they going to be in the same as our owners? Are they going to be synchronized? So we get it. We go, oh my God, I get it now. The thing that's most highly valued in his heart and mind is us, the souls of men, believe it or not. You, me, equally valued, treasured. He wants friends. That's a relationship he wants to have. He wants it to be intimate, close. He wants you to understand every good thing you've ever experienced. Think about all the sensory things that you were gifted with through the existence of life, human existence, and your five senses: taste, touch, smell, sight, sound, all that music, everything good you've ever enjoyed in your entire life, all that pleasure you've had. Guess where it came from? In all things, give thanks. All things work together for good for those who love God. He knows your heart and mind. He knows if you're one of those that if you were given a chance to eat from that tree again, you learned over these thousands of years that you would never do that. You don't want anything to do with money in any of its sundry incarnations. Okay? You don't want to know the difference between being naked and not. You want to be at least as evolved, as mature as all the other freaking creatures on earth. You're this godlike creature, for crying out loud. And I got to know what I'm naked or not? No, I should be oblivious. God made it that way. Am I? Are you? Is anybody? I think the answer to that is clear. Of course not. I mean, I can be very prudish, believe me. Okay? I think we can all be prudish. Everybody, even people that go to nudist colonies and everything. I mean, believe it or not, everybody's got a prudish side. You know, we're virtuous. I mean, whatever. But, you know, we don't want to be salacious. And well, isn't that immoral? Nudity and nakedness and looking at naked people. And, well, I mean, you know, some of the earliest porn comes from the Bible. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to get into it. I think it's in the book of Ezekiel somewhere, talking about the Assyrians. And I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to repeat it because it is salacious, and I don't want to repeat it. But, you know, it's in the scriptures, it's the Old Testament. But it's not the point. The point is that it's a sin nature that we're sucked into, this carnal nature. Okay, it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't. But we have this fallen state, so it is there. So it'd be really nice to know what it's like to be completely oblivious to that factor. I mean, if people want to wear clothes, nobody would think anything of it. If people didn't want to wear clothes, people would think nothing of it. That should be the reality. Is it? I mean, that's a huge departure from where we are. I mean, which one of us is going to drive downtown accidentally? We get down there and we go, oh my God, I forgot my pants. I mean, it just doesn't happen, right? We remember to put on our pants typically. So anyhow, friends, listen, I do want the best for everybody, not some. You know, I understood a long time ago that I just want to be happy. And then I realized that, you know, you can't go it alone. That's nice in theory to think that, you know, every man is an island unto himself. You got to get your own happiness. It doesn't work that way. Because when I see better men and women than me suffering needlessly and dying sometimes out in the cold, and Christ saying that whatsoever I do or fail to do for the least of men, I do or fail to do for him. Okay, I don't really care about making a lot of money. I still want to contribute. I want to give and give and give. I want to please. I want to be appreciated. I want to be useful. That's my godliness. Nothing can stop. Wild horses can't stop me from finding a way somehow of being useful. I must. Even if the whole world was handed to us on a silver platter like it should from birth. When God has his way, that's going to be the reality. You see how there's absolutely no need for money. It becomes totally stupid, rendered absolutely irrelevant. Okay? An absurd thought. Okay? Why would anybody need money if you own an equal share of all the earth's resources? And the greatest resource was human labor that was given freely. You understand? The world is handed to us on a silver platter. How better working conditions could you have? How much better? How would that spur innovation? Okay? You think truck drivers don't like shipping stuff? We'll figure it out. You've got to have distribution points. You got to use trains and planes, whatever method that's the easiest. We should need all the trucks on the highway and have storage facilities so that nobody's running out. More locally, distribution centers locally. There's answers to all of our problems, all of them. And they don't need to involve money at all. And that's the world of tomorrow. That's the one. Those are the meek, the righteous that are going to inherit this earth. That's the world you want to get your heart and mind ready for. Wrap your mind around that, ruminate on it, and say, God, is this true? Prayer is the most important thing I do. I'd be shot. I mean, listen. It's tough being human. Okay, and believe me, I get my share. Okay, I've got a good life, but I've never had an easy